Joining me now is National Review columnist John Fund and Democratic strategist turned somewhat conservative Harlan Hill. All right, guys. So, John, I'm going to start with you. I told you President Trump was going to emerge, and he did last night. What do you think?
He normally is on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of intensity, an 11. He dialed it back to 6.5. He won the debate because of that.
But he won the debate big time.
He won the debate. Just wait a few days and there might be another Donald Trump. Remember, he admitted today for the first time there are two Donald Trumps. I call that Jekyll and Hyde. I
call that smart and smarter.
Yeah, you know, I don't think we're going to see a new Donald Trump until he's facing Hillary Clinton in the fall. And I think that he has a unique ability to just liquidate an opponent. We saw what he did to Jeb, who was the presumed nominee for a while, and he had all the financial backing of the establishment. And, you know, nobody's talking about him anymore. When he sets his sights on Hillary Clinton, we're going to see a whole new Donald Trump.
You know, John, I said it last week. I think I said it before when you were on. It's almost like the Rocky Balboa story. You know, when Rocky fought him for the first time, he was easy to telegraph because he was this. Mickey said, change to the right. He changed to the right. And then he went back to the left. Nobody knew what to guess anymore.
And everyone practiced the same strategy, which meant it was probably the most somnambulant, quiet, policy-filled debate we've had yet.
Yeah, but ultimately, what I thought it showed about Donald Trump was that he has the ability to listen to people, because I think everybody's screaming, start acting presidential, stop with the other stuff, and you're biting their bait. You're taking their bait, you're falling into the trap. Yeah. Now these guys don't know what to do. I mean, how is it, a question for both of you,
yeah.
How is it that the GOP, any candidate, is going to be able to stop Trump? Can they?
They can't. The delegate math is against them. Their only hope is to go to contested convention.
How is the delegate math against them?
Well, I mean, assuming that he walks away with either Ohio or Florida,
okay,
then it becomes very, very difficult for anybody else to get to 50%.
Well, that's that's a separate story.
No,
if he loses one, he still has to get 58% of the remaining delegates. That's tough.
We've got a lot of winner-take-all states.
No, we have 8.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot as a percentage of the states that are left. Yes, it is. So. There is a clear path to victory to 50%, and that's what I consider victory for Donald Trump. I don't see a clear path to victory before the convention for any other candidate. He has a path to victory
if he carries both Ohio and Florida. Carries only one. It's very dicey.
Let's not get caught up in the numbers. I want to go back to you here, John. What, if anything, after last night's performance, is Cruz, because he's really the only guy with any substantial numbers behind him, what can Cruz even do to throw off Donald? Because he's not going to bait him into a fight. He's not going to make him look stupid. What's Cruz going to do?
Donald Trump always surprises. He always surprises.
He surprises, but none of his surprises have knocked him off the perch, John.
He underperforms his polls in almost every primary. He gets about 35% nationwide. That's a lot of votes, but it's not a majority. And I will bet you he loses Ohio. And losing Ohio is 66 delegates off the table. Trump actually has as much problem as Cruz in changing his game in order to get what he wants.
Okay. So let's assume that he doesn't, I don't want to spend too much time on the math, but let's assume that he loses Ohio. Who emerges as the single candidate that can beat him ahead of the convention? It doesn't exist.
First of all, if you don't have 1237 delegates, a majority, it goes to a second ballot. Delegates are released.
Right.
And the odds of Donald J. Trump winning a second ballot with delegates not pledged to him are what?
There will be a revolt. There will be a revolt, and I don't think that
if he doesn't get a majority, there would be a revolt if he got a majority and they stole it from him. That would be a revolt. But remember,
the delegates are going to act against the will.
The will of a plurality?
Yes.
40% is not a majority.
So
45% is not a majority.
It's closer to a majority than 20%.
But he poses a great question. If there was somebody else like a Trump that people said, okay, you know what, we didn't get Trump, but we'll take this guy, there's nobody else that they're championing for.
Sure there is. They could accept Chris. Trump delegates would accept Chris Christie.
Oh, my goodness.
Of course they would.
No, they wouldn't.
He's back Trump? Why wouldn't they?
Because they didn't accept him the first time. Why? They didn't accept him the first time. He wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Rick Perry. They wouldn't accept Rick Perry?
No, they wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't.
They don't want an establishment
we're going to have a fun
candidate.
Convention.
They want an absolute outsider.
This is horrible for the Republicans. If this becomes a reality and there's a second ballot, it is horrible for the Republicans going into the general election.
We've had second ballots throughout most of our history at conventions. They've never torn a party apart. The bottom line is there's only one thing worse than a second ballot, and that is nominating a guy who loses in 45 out of the last 50 polls against Hillary Clinton and has an unfavorable rating of 67% nationwide.
Okay, but John,
that is even worse than a second
We only
ballot.
got 30 seconds. I just want you to have this open mind, because I'm going to have you guys back next week, okay, and we'll do this again. That was based off, I think, the Trump that they've been seeing in the past. Now, last night, the new Trump, the president, has emerged. That's what people are going to start to tune into. And he said it last night. I'm creeping up. I'm creeping up. I'm creeping up.
The last poll has him down 16 points to Hillary. That's lower than he was the week before.
You said you wanted
that.
to bet me. I'll bet you. We'll bet some good stakes that it's going to. You want in on this bet?
Yeah.
What do you guys say? Send me an email. DMLreport@newsmax.com. Be easy on John when you send the emails. Be easy.
You know they won't.
He's a nice guy.
You know
Be
they
easy on him. All right, when we come back, we're going to be talking about welfare fraud and how it's out of control and how my man Donald Trump is going to put it back in line. We'll be back.